Trent, let's go over your paper. I'm going to go through the capitalization and punctuation and usage situations that you had that cost you some points. And that's just part of the process. The only way we can do this is to make the mistakes, and then we can go through and fix them so you'll know next time. And sometimes we have to do that over and over again. So don't worry about that there are mistakes in it. That's part of the draft process. The first one I found here, and I'm going to go ahead and track my changes so that they'll show up in different colors, is China. We capitalize countries. And I liked your intro. You went from the most popular sport in Europe and even the world, and then you narrowed it down to when first it was worldwide, then you narrowed it down to when it started, and a set of rules became in England, and then you narrowed it down to the position. So that was an excellent introduction. And here is your thesis statement, the goalkeeper, defender, and striker, but that actually is a fragment. So what we're going to do to fix this is we're going to say they came up with the 3 most famous positions, and instead of a period, let's put a semicolon, a colon, because that tells us that a list is going to follow, and we'll have to make that lowercase. They came up with the 3 most famous positions. And if you can say the following, then you can use a colon. And we could have had the following in here, and you can type it in if you want to make it really clear, but they came up with the following 3 most famous positions: the goalkeeper, defender, and striker. So now that makes that whole thing your thesis statement, and that's a nice thesis statement because it tells the reader you're getting ready to read about the goalkeeper, defender, and striker. And let me back up one. In 1863, it started becoming even more popular. And here we have, in 1863, it started becoming more popular. Let me make this a different color. This is an introductory prepositional phrase. See that preposition? And with introductory phrases, especially if they're over 5 words, we give them a comma. So, a popular English school came up with a set of rules. So here's your basic sentence. Here's your introductory clause. Down here in the second one, bigger goalkeepers cover more ground. Most professional goalkeepers are 6 foot or taller, but they must be quick and nimble as well. And instead of a but, I think that should be an and, because there's 2 things they need to be, not opposites. And I think you might have been thinking that most of the time people who are 6 feet or taller are not quick and nimble. And I can see that, but I think because you're wanting them to be 6 feet tall and quick and nimble, we should have an and there. A new generation of goalkeepers are so adept, and I think this should be at handling the ball, that they are part of the attack. So those are kind of little things. Making lives isn't just knocking the ball out of harm's way. If the keeper can hold onto the ball, the opposition has no way of scoring. And right here you have, let me turn on my review so I can use my pen here to mark our nouns. Making saves isn't just about knocking the ball out of harm's way. If the keeper can hold on to the ball, here, let me mark this. If the keeper can hold on to the ball, there you have a www.asia, and it's at the beginning of the sentence. So when we have a www.asia that begins a sentence, we put a comma after it. But this, if the keeper can hold on to the ball, whoops, I put that comma in the wrong spot. The opposition has no way of scoring, which that's a whole sentence. Making saves isn't just knocking the ball out of harm's way. Now we can fix this two ways, because what you have here is a comma splice where you tried to put two sentences together with the comma. You can't do that. You have two choices here. You can either use a period or a semicolon, and it's easiest to fix with either one. So I'll just put a semicolon. And remember, a semicolon is the same thing as a period. If a period can go there, a semicolon can go there. The only time we use semicolons is if the sentences are kind of closely related where they are here. Okay, so remember, if we have a www.asia or introductory prepositional phrase that is over 5 words long, we want to give it a comma. Okay, nothing there. So they are able to see, and I think that was supposed to be spelled where. When the player has turned defender, when the player has turned, and here you have a www.asia. It's 5 words long, so we're going to go ahead and give it a comma. And I'm not sure, because I don't know your subject, if this is what you mean, so think about what you're trying to say here. When the player has turned, defenders try to channel them into areas where they can do the least damage. So your basic sentence here is defenders try to channel them into an area where they can do the least damage, and this to me is an introductory clause, a www.asia. And when we begin a sentence with a www.asia that's over 5 words, we give it a comma. Had another comma splice. As a forward, you will have some defensive duties. You are mainly expected to pressure the opposing team. So here you have you have two subject pronouns, you have some verbs, so you can't put them together with a comma. So let's go ahead and make that a semicolon. I'm thinking you need a be there. There will be several situations. And here, where is that like? Forwards and strikers have to learn how to score with different parts of their bodies, like finishing a cross with their heads. That's just part of that sentence. They are always surrounded by opposing defenders. It is important that they know how to protect the ball. Okay, again, you have a subject pronoun, you have your verbs, so you've got a comma splice here. So let's just give it a semicolon, and that way we're not trying to connect two sentences with a comma. So those are the little punctuation, capitalization, usage errors. And sometimes it helps to read it out loud to yourself if you can get used to that. I know when I write, that helps me, but something else that always helps me is to write it and then not read it immediately, but let it sit for a day and then go back and read it out loud. And it is amazing to me how many errors I make, which I don't even realize because I'm trying to type fast. And then if I give it a day and read it out loud, I can catch a lot of my own errors. But it's also helpful sometimes if you can have someone else read it. Okay, your conclusion. And you have in conclusion, you have the 3 sentences here, but that's not enough. And you have some, I guess, summaries of your paragraphs. The goalkeeper prevents the opponent from scoring. But what I'm thinking, we need to restate your thesis. Okay, and your thesis goes back here where you said they came up with the following 3 most famous positions: the goalkeeper, defender, and striker. And let's just go ahead and restate it using different words, not the exact same words. The key players in soccer are the goalkeeper, defender, and striker. And I don't know if those are the only players or just the key players, but we want to restate it. And then you could go ahead and kind of give a summary. The goalkeeper prevents the opponent from scoring, the defender prevents the opponent from getting close to the goal, and the striker is responsible for scoring the goal. And then we need to go in our conclusion. We've got to move out and get more general. So we have restated our thesis, you've given details, and then we've got to go out and get more general. It's like when you started worldwide, and then you narrowed down to a school in England, and then you narrowed it further down to the position. So we got to do the opposite. So we have our key players, we've restated our thesis, you've kind of summed up your sentences, your paragraphs, and you might even want to add an extra paragraph. Sentence. The goalkeeper prevents the opponent from scoring. This position, say something else about it. You know your topic, I'm not sure. But we need to get out into more general. Let's say something like, I live across from Ben Guerin, so I see the kids play soccer, so that's what I'm thinking of. And you can come up with your own idea how to go out to general. This spring, kids across America will be signing up for soccer and learning how about and trying out each of these positions. And I don't know when the soccer tournaments are shown on TV. This spring, kids across America will be signing up for soccer and trying out these positions. And this, I don't know, fall, millions of soccer fans worldwide will cheer on their favorite players in the, I think it's called the World Cup, but I really don't know anything about soccer. But I just want to show you that you're going to have to come up with the words because I really don't know your topic. How you're going to go back out. Just like you went from the world and you narrowed it down, we started narrow and we're going to go back out. So I'm going to let you use your imagination and creativity to write something much better than that. Okay. Other than cleaning it up, some of those usage, punctuation, capitalization, and spelling errors, and developing your conclusion, I just want to work on a couple formatting goals. Go ahead and let's put the whole essay in 12 point, and let's use times and do the full double space 2.0. You already have your MLA header there. I don't have your sources with this paper, so let's go ahead and add those. And what we'll do, we will insert a page, because this will be our works cited page, works cited, and that is centered. And then list your sources. You have to go back over here. So source 1, and use that citation machine, source 2, source 3, and once you get them in there, remember, click this little corner and make it a hanging indent, and the computer will automatically adjust the sources. So let me just kind of recap here what I want you to do this week. So just clean up your paper, correcting the errors from the video. And I'm going to make you a list here. Let's do a 1-2 list. Okay. And then I want you to double space it. Oh, whoops. Double space. 12.0. Well, double space, use that whole 2.0. And then for your font size, use 12 point and use times. And then do your works cited page and put in your sources. I know you have your sources done. So go ahead and put them in there using that format from the citation machine, and put in your sources using the hanging indent. And then develop the conclusion and add your running head. I think that's all. Most of those won't take very long. It'll just help you get used to the formatting style of MLA and how to format. I know you guys will probably work on this in computer class too, but go ahead and get this formatted for me. This is going to be the most writing, so work on developing that conclusion. Do it the opposite of what you did your intro. Your intro was excellent. Just do it backwards where you're going from specific to general, and then just clean up some of your errors. That's the end of the video.